Hello and welcome to IASLE Podcast.
All right, so everyone, thank you so much to join us on today's webinar. Today, it is proud to have Professor Filippo SCIARRONE. Sorry about the pronunciation. Professor Filippo right now is an associate professor at the University Mercatorum in Rome, Italy, where he is teaching several courses in computer science. His research interests mainly concern technology-enhanced learning and the particular application of generative AI technique and methods to educational field. He has led several research laboratory and companies for the production and algorithms and innovative system for human resource management and for teaching-oriented recommendation system. Currently, he manages a research group on the use of generative AI to construction of intelligent conversational agents for students with specific learning disorders. So today, his topic is generative AI to improve learning for students with dyslexia, dream or reality. Without further ado, let's welcome Professor Filippo SCIARRONE. Professor, it is your time.
Okay, I can start. Thank you, Mike Chang, for your presentation. I'm Filippo SCIARRONE. Professor Mike Chang already presented me, and my university, just 1 minute about my university. Universitas Mercatorum in Rome. It's a telematic and private university with 50,000 enrolled students, 37 degree courses, and so on. After the COVID, my university increased the number of enrolled students from 11,000 to 50,000 people. This is my university. If you will be in Rome, you can visit my university because it's in a historical palace and the St. Jewish part of Rome, and this Renaissance palace. I put some photos about my administration and where are all the hall for the conferences and so on. It's a Costa Gudi palace. So today I'm working about the generative AI in education. From 2 years, since 2 years and more, and in particular on the application of generative AI for helping dyslexic people. This presentation has some ingredients that are important to fully understand. These are MOOCs and spatial education and artificial intelligence. And the sum of these 3 ingredients will be my presentation, just to understand the final conclusions and the systems that I will show you. So the first part will be about MOOCs and some characteristics. Because why MOOCs? Because the problem is that dyslexic people, when students are in classroom with the teacher face-to-face, it's simpler to be helped by the teacher. When the teacher has in the classroom 20 students, it's easy to have a face-to-face relationship just to help them. But when we have MOOCs with 1,000 students, I have a course with 3,050 and 500 students. I don't know sometimes students. All the students, it's impossible to know all students. So if there are students with learning disorder, it's impossible for me to help them directly. So the problem of dyslexic students is a big problem in MOOCs, especially. The current trends about them. And after we speak about special education, some general characteristics and classification. I anticipated that my presentation will be a multimedia presentation. So we see some YouTube video, one YouTube video, and some we try two systems about the generative AI and the chatbot. So after we speak about MOOCs and special education, artificial intelligence and special education, some examples with some systems. I'm working currently on some system with my research group in my university, and we made two chatbots, intelligent chatbots, to help dyslexic students, and we'll try them directly today. Okay, so we start with MOOCs. It's a popular way for people around the world to access high-quality educational content from reputable institutions for free or at a low cost. And we have a lot. They are increasing. For example, Khan Academy, Coursera, Future Learning, Udemy, and so on. And the most important characteristic of these courses is that to have thousands of enrolled learners. And in recent years, and especially after COVID-19, COVID-19 is a borderline also for education before and after, because education changed after COVID-19. We know that the way to learn, the way to teach after COVID-19 changed because of we were compelled to change our devices and to teach in distance learning way. And the didactic materials and methods, we were compelled to change and to adapt to the new era. So after COVID-19 era, the number of MOOCs has grown exponentially at all levels of education. So schools, universities, and companies have radically changed the way they make didactic materials. And consequently, as I told before, new didactic strategies for teaching and learning have made it possible to overcome the classic barriers of space and time, and have launched new challenges for all the stakeholders involved in education processes. Because also in school, university, my university has this problem because we are preparing a chatbot for dyslexic students. It's also a competition, a business competition for a private university to help students, to help dyslexic students. So we can say our university helps dyslexic users, and other university doesn't. So the student, we could have more students. This is also business and the market, as we know about this. Just a picture as MOOCs growth with enrolled students, and the blue line is the number of MOOCs in the year, is an exponential, classical exponential form, shape of this graph. Here in green color, we have the enrollments in millions students, and we know that we also, the enrolled people is in online courses. In Italy, for example, many students after their high school are beginning to select, to choose telematic universities for some reasons, logistic reason, and so on. This is the distribution: computer science, business, humanities, data sciences, personal development, art and design is a relative distribution. In computer science is one of the most important. So in a distance education context, it is difficult, as I told before, if not impossible, for the teacher to teach in a personalized way and still ensure students' learning happens faster and more profitable. So the problem is how to help dyslexic people when courses have a high number of enrolled people. Here there is a relevant literature of this problem. I do not discuss these papers, but you can read them from this presentation. And now we can talk about special education, just to have all the ingredients connected. Specific learning disorder, what does it mean? What that mean? Dyslexia, dysorthography, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dysprasia. We have a lot of learning disorders. Some are connected among them. For example, students with dyslexia have the 80% of probability to be also dysorthographic students. Okay. So these are neurodevelopmental disorders that can affect the brain's ability to receive, process, store, respond to, and communicate information in general. Individuals with this disorder might struggle with skills like reading, writing, math, reasoning, listening, and speaking. But it's important to note that specific learning disorders are not due to a lack of intelligence or desire to learn, because sometimes the students have a dysestim about them. So the context is very, very important to engage students, dyslexic, but not also dyslexic students, all students, but dyslexic in particular, because they have the problem of reading and writing. So are not due to lack of intelligence or desire to learn, but with the right supported interventions, such as specialized teaching methods and devices, technology and accommodation, individuals can achieve academic success. In my university, we have a lot of students with the certification of dyslexia, but not only dyslexia. So the diagnosis and identification of specific learning disorder involve a comprehensive assessment that looks at the individual's abilities and struggles in detail. For example, the American Psychiatric Association categorizes SLD into three main areas: dyslexia, and this is the most well-known specific learning disorder, and involves difficulties with accurate and/or fluent word recognition, poor decoding abilities, and spelling difficulties. After we have dyscalculia, ability to understand numbers and learn math facts, individuals with dyscalculia may struggle with calculation and performing math operations. Dysgraphia, this involves difficulties with written expression, such as composing written content, spelling, and handwriting. Individuals with dysgraphia may struggle with the physical act of writing or with organizing their thoughts on paper. So now we enter in the dyslexia problems, because the focus of this talk, we should talk about generative AI and dyslexia. Now, why dyslexia? Because dyslexia is the most common in the population problem in the population worldwide. As stated by ADA, we have from 5% to 20% of population, but no matter which country, no matter which language, dyslexia is everywhere. But in what country is there are more dyslexic people? In those countries where language is more difficult to learn. For example, United States, where English language, where you don't read the word is written. So it's a problem for dyslexic people. So in those countries, dyslexia is higher. So according to European Dyslexia Association, other European countries' epidemiological estimates this problem between 5% and 12% of the entire population. But the last data about this says that we are also to 20% in some countries. Furthermore, the last revision 15% to 15%. Here there is a relevant publication about this. So where dyslexia is higher, we have here Asia, Europe, North America, Africa, and so on. So dyslexia prevalence, 1 out of 10 people. Number of United States adults with dyslexia, 40 million and more people. Most common learning disability, men with respect to women prevalence, 60 and 40%, and the United States kids in school with dyslexia, 20%. A percent of NASA's workforce with dyslexia, over 50%, because dyslexia is not related to the intelligence. Okay, in fact, a lot of intelligent people, historical people, most famous people, was or is dyslexic. And this is the comparison between dyslexic and non-dyslexic students on the problem. Here we have fluent, so the reading level, fluent, moderate, red is dyslexic students, and the other color is non-dyslexic students. So in the reading level, we have a very important difference. Moderate, we have moderate this, and the struggling, we have this bar histogram, where dyslexic students meet hard problems to read. Okay, here moderate problems, but the most of dyslexic people has problems in reading. So just a moment to watch this video. It's very interesting, and is very short, just to understand all what is dyslexia about this. Okay, doesn't sorry. Why is okay? Go directly on YouTube.
Ciao, questa è la mia aula. Adesso è
Just
così,
about I
ma dal
changed the
9
language.
settembre al 17 novembre, con 15 euro di spesa o 50 punti fragola, ricevi un buono amici di scuola e dello sport con cui renderla molto più divertente.
Un cerotto che non scalda, senza medicinali e inodore, fino a 5 giorni di sollievo dal dolore.
Okay. Change the subtitles. English. Okay.
Take a moment to read the following. How was that? Frustrating? Slow? What were those sentences about? They're actually a simulation of the experience of dyslexia, designed to make you decode each word. Those with dyslexia experience that laborious pace every time they read. When most people think of dyslexia, they think of seeing letters and words backwards, like seeing B as D and vice versa. Or they might think people with dyslexia see saw as was. The truth is, people with dyslexia see things the same way as everyone else. Dyslexia is caused by a phonological processing problem, meaning people affected by it have trouble not with seeing language, but with manipulating it. For example, if you heard the word cat and then someone asked you, remove the C, what word would you have left? At. This can be difficult for those with dyslexia. Given a word in isolation like fantastic, students with dyslexia need to break the word into parts to read it. Fan-tas-tic. Time spent decoding makes it hard to keep up with peers and gain sufficient comprehension. Spelling words phonetically like S-T-I-K for stick and F-R-E-N-S for friends is also common. These difficulties are more widespread and varied than commonly imagined. Dyslexia affects up to 1 in 5 people. It occurs on a continuum. One person might have mild dyslexia, while the next person has a profound case of it. Dyslexia also runs in families. It's common to see one family member who has trouble spelling, while another family member has severe difficulty decoding even one-syllable words like catch. The continuum and distribution of dyslexia suggest a broader principle to bear in mind as we look at how the brains of those with dyslexia process language. Neurodiversity is the idea that because all our brains show differences in structure and function, we shouldn't be so quick to label every deviation from the norm as a pathological disorder, or dismiss people living with these variations as defective. People with neurobiological variations like dyslexia, including such creative and inventive individuals as Picasso, Muhammad Ali, Whoopi Goldberg, Steven Spielberg, and Cher, clearly have every capacity to be brilliant and successful in life. So here's the special way the brains of those with dyslexia work. The brain is divided into 2 hemispheres. The left hemisphere is generally in charge of language and ultimately reading, while the right typically handles spatial activities. fMRI studies have found that the brains of those with dyslexia rely more on the right hemisphere and frontal lobe than the brains of those without it. This means when they read a word, it takes a longer trip through their brain and can get delayed in the frontal lobe. Because of this neurobiological glitch, they read with more difficulty. But those with dyslexia can physically change their brain and improve their reading. With an intensive multisensory intervention that breaks the language down and teaches the reader to decode based on syllable types and spelling rules, the brains of those with dyslexia begin using the left hemisphere more efficiently while reading, and their reading improves. The intervention works because it locates dyslexia appropriately as a functional variation in the brain, which naturally shows all sorts of variations from one person to another. Neurodiversity emphasizes this spectrum of brain function in all humans and suggests that to better understand the perspectives of those around us, we should try to not only see the world through their eyes, but understand it through their brains.
Okay. Okay. Here we have some relevant literature talking about problems with the dyslexia. Now, we speak about generative AI. That is the third ingredient of our study. So, what is generative AI and the mechanism behind generative AI? Generative AI is important from 2022 when OpenAI released the ChatGPT chatbot, and all this changed. Okay, a revolution. We say generative AI refers to algorithms that can generate new data, such as text, images, or sounds, based on training data. Unlike traditional AI, which classify or predicts, generative AI creates utilized machine learning models, like GANs and transformer models, and consists of a generator and discriminator working together
or maybe lots of data come bad outcome, but it stabilizes, but you can also tip over and get positive feedback.
My video, the screen.
It's called a vicious circle.
I hear some voice. Is that coming from one of your browser, maybe?
You see my video?
Right now I see the Zoom, and also at the backend side I see your PowerPoint.
A bad situation, maybe somebody with bad behavior.
You don't see my PowerPoint presentation.
I see your PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, but I also hear something in the back end.
Yes. The microphone, somebody has the microphone.
Let me double check. Oh yes, yeah. Let me mute it. No. I still hear. Okay, maybe here. Let me mute. Okay, here. Oh yes, I got it. Everyone, I mute.
Okay, I continue.
Yes, sorry about that.
No problem. So, unlike the traditional AI, we have a creation in this domain to use GANs and transformer models. The first, the very famous article was about a transformer on which ChatGPT is built. So we have real-world applications with the generative AI, image generation, DALL-E, Midjourney, and so on, text generation, ChatGPT, GPT models, music and audio generation, code generation, and so on. From since the birth of ChatGPT, all the applications, the domain of application have been completed by it. In fact, generative AI market growth, the global generative AI market is projected to grow from 10 billion in 2021 to 110 billion by 2030. The number of generative AI tools has increased by 200% from 2020 to 2023, and the text generation tools are used by 30% of enterprises. So we have generative AI everywhere now. But why we use this? Because it enhances creativity and content production speed. Now we'll see an example. Reduces costs for industries like marketing, entertainment, and customer service. Supports innovation and personalized service, and in education, which is the domain we are interested in. But for example, the software houses now, when they have to write source code in Python, on Java, on other language, they can say to ChatGPT, please write me the code to solve this problem, and ChatGPT writes that code. Or Copilot is another environment where the enterprises can use that instrument just to have source code production, but not only it. So we now we see AI, education, dyslexia, and the state of the art. So here we investigate the literature before ChatGPT and after ChatGPT. Before is until 2022, but the first papers came out in 2023. So artificial intelligence has been contributing to the improvement of learning support this system for years, from intelligent tutoring systems to the latest generation of intelligent chatbot. Machine learning has been the most used approach to build support system for dyslexic students. because machine learning, especially machine learning, was used in past years just to detect dyslexia among students, not to help dyslexic students. So the most of the literature was formed by papers about medical point of view, about dyslexia, or machine learning by medical point of view, just to detect dyslexia. So we conducted the review literature concerning the use of AI for assisting dyslexic students during the learning process in the range 2018-2023. The main goal, helping dyslexic students through AI methods and techniques. So we use the PRISMA method for the reviewing process. PRISMA method is a method very famous, the standard method to complete review papers. And we consider articles that propose the help for students with dyslexia, both on theoretical level and on practical level, through intelligence support system as important for our research. So the intersection of AI, dyslexia, and education. The sources were IEEE, Springer, Artis, Elsevier, Google Scholar, etc., etc. English language only, coming from conferences and journals. So we selected some relevant semantic categories in the state of the art, 7 categories: research, articles primarily engaged in research discussion of the team, help, articles centered on the development and usage of tools aiming at assisting learners with dyslexia, medical, articles with the medical orientation exploring the psychological aspects of dyslexia, review, articles offering a review of existing literature and studies on the topic, education, articles reporting on experimentation and application in the educational field, be it at the school or university level, gaming, articles exploring gamification approaches to support individuals with dyslexia, and dyslexia detection, articles focused on innovative methods and techniques to detect dyslexia. These are semantics categories that we found out studying a lot of papers, just to have a good review. This is to the left, the same PRISMA method. We analyzed 436 papers, and we found this is the distribution of the papers in the single categories: education, game, detection. This is autoscope, the removed the papers. Research, this is master, a lot of papers about research on this, but not so, not a high number of papers in the education field. Okay, we divided the papers, reading the title, the abstract, the keywords, and metadata associated to each paper. And each paper was first analyzed and after discussed in a plenary session. A Google Drive we used as the working area. And these are the intersections about the categories. As we see that, for example, we have research 59 papers, but research and detection only 4. Here we have research and help, research to help students, only 9 papers. And here medical and research, 2 papers, is the same of this. The most important categories for us were education and help. We found 21 papers in the intersection, and we made an in-depth insight these papers, analyzing each of them, and having a clear vision about this part of literature. And our conclusion was that the machine learning techniques were used mainly for dyslexia detection, but there is a lack of proposals about AI to help dyslexic students in the education field. This was until 2023. Some recent papers until 2023 was where can ChatGPT empower people with dyslexia? What is the impact of ChatGPT on education? Is a review. Revolutionizing education with AI, but are papers, few papers for ChatGPT for dyslexic people. We didn't find papers that addressed this problem, how to use for the systems to not only the research like review or questions, research questions and so on, but some proposals discussing systems, practical systems to help dyslexic people. So from 2024, generative AI for supporting dyslexia students grow up. Chatbots for the chatbot, ChatGPT and Chatbot were used from the community to help dyslexic people. So chatbots, as we know, are conversational or interactive agents that provide instant response to the user. But a chatbot is a software machine that talks with the user, human. It is a virtual assistant, able to answer a number of user questions, provide the correct responses. On this concept, the correct responses, we could say a lot of things, as we know. But there is a debate, an open debate about hallucination, for example, of ChatGPT, about the prompt engineering, how to prompt the correct way to prompt a question to the chatbot. So we can see here at the left the number of users of chatbot users, and we also here we can see almost an exponential growth, because we should think that chatbot existed before ChatGPT. People used the chatbot as web platforms, banks, and so on. But ChatGPT gave stronger them. Or here and now we have a number of users in millions. But we have another figure where we have the use of the chatbot, and here we have growth of generative AI chatbot applications. Here the blue line, customer support, as I told before, for example, web application for the banks, for business applications on the web marketing and so on. Virtual assistant, education is this, and healthcare is this. And this is a content creation. So we have education is low with respect, for example, to customer support, because the business is higher than for education point of view. So we discuss now chatbot in education. Why we use chatbot in education: for assessment and evaluation, students' performance prediction, intelligent tutoring systems, learning management for SLD students, medical education, and coding education. So we started my university with this project in April 1, 2023, and finished it in 2024, 31 of May, to build intelligent chatbots for helping dyslexic people to learn, mainly for MOOCs, because, as I told at the beginning of this presentation, the hard problem is when we are in MOOCs. I was the principal investigator. This was my research. The problem. In MOOCs learner, as I told, we have no relationship with teachers. So how can dyslexia learners be supported in MOOCs? And our research question we have investigated is this project. Learning tools, personalization, improving creativity, to encourage to develop new ideas, improving engagement. So a chatbot should have all these features, okay? All around the support, aiding in the course learning, encouraging inclusion, all people could see it, and improving self-esteem, because that is very important in students with special learning disorder. So the introduction of artificial intelligence technology and chatbot has the potential to provide quick and personalized services to everyone in the sector, and the application of artificial intelligence in AI in education is growing continuously. So we have in the right way just to help students. So we have ChatGPT in the left, the most advanced model of intelligent chatbot. Were born in the meantime other LLM systems, Llama and others. But ChatGPT for this problem is the best in this moment, based on deep learning models trained on huge data sets, capable of answering questions regarding all or almost all knowledge domains. And DALL-E, this is for image, there is other platforms to make the same thing. So I show you the AI for Architect, a system to assist students to improve creativity in design domain based on generative AI. This was our first system in the path that we are. If you want to try this system, you can try now. I show you in my computer, if I found where, because I have a lot of windows open here. This is the system. And here we have a text window, here the image window. We made this experiment with the Lebanese American University because there were a lot of people with dyslexia problem, and with the researcher Karma Tabagi, just to help the science students to be more creative. And we made an experiment. For example, if we write here interiors, the system interfaces with the ChatGPT, and after the students have this is the result. The student can reason about this, can change, and so on, and create an image just to be helped by the system. If he has an assignment, and just to be more creative, if this system helps students to be more creative. So we have an example of the use of this system. This system was 2023. Now ChatGPT is integrated with DALL-E 3, but we prefer to have them separated because the students this is a two-step learning process. In the first step learning process, the student has to reason about the text, has to have time to reason and to have a design interface. And the second step, he has to reason about the image. There is a fine-tuning behind this system of ChatGPT in the AI design and for design. So I come back to my Zoom presentation. Okay. Okay, the system is always online. If you can try, you can try. The problem of the use of ChatGPT is that your organization, if you want to use ChatGPT, has to pay not the free version of it. So a new era for supporting dyslexia learners. I show you some systems or 2024, they are systems that now are, some are under construction, some are in the test step. We are all reasoning about these systems. Generative Reader, for example, 2024, an AI-powered reading augmentation tool to augment the reading experiences for students with learning differences, and it allows students to select an arbitrary text or phrase, generates visual representations using DALL-E, gets simplified explanation, as well as enables interactive query and answer using ChatGPT. All the systems in the 2024, there is an improvement of all the system. TutorChat, a system that I designed with my group, a chatbot for the support to dyslexic learners activity through generative AI. But here I would like to, after to present you the system live presentation, generates contextual concept maps, web application, font for dyslexic students, text to speech, speech to text, uses ChatGPT, Google Image, YouTube. And this fact that using Google Image, YouTube is novelty because other systems are integrated, are interfaced with the ChatGPT only, and they use ChatGPT only for image and so on. But for video, we use the YouTube. This is another system we are working on with my group. This is an enhancement with respect to the previous, but they are two different systems. An intelligent chatbot for supporting students with dyslexia based on generative AI, generates contextual concept maps, is based on ChatGPT-4, and he has the last technical properties of ChatGPT, retrieval augmented generation and function calling architecture, generates contextual summaries, text-to-speech, speech-to-text, personalization in the use of the interface. This is another point, very interesting. LearnBuddy is an intelligent chatbot that can interpret and produce voice-based interactions in addition to understanding and responding to textual queries. It's based on ChatGPT, natural language processing, and generative artificial network. The chatbot appears, the novelty of this system is that the chatbot appears as a virtual person and creating an immersive atmosphere. Lamppost is another prototype for email writing interface that it explores the potential of large language models to power writing support tools that address the varied needs of people with dyslexia. This is specialized for email writing, outline main ideas, generating a subject line, suggesting changes, and rewriting a selection. So TutorChat is the system that I would like to now to have a live presentation. Is a chatbot for dyslexic students from 8 to 14, built using generative AI ChatGPT-4 over dyslexic fonts, speech to text, the concept maps builder is a work in progress because we are experimenting this. Developed in Python and the Django middleware. So I want to show you this system. The system, okay, is speaking because text to speech. Here we can see that he writes, "Hello, Filippo, it's wonderful to see you back." And for the engagement of the student, I ask for, please tell me something about Mozart, okay? I hope that Marfilo will not address our this presentation. And
of course, Filippo. I will be delighted to tell you about Mozart.
You hear, but
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was born in 17...
Okay. Is the property of this system is to split the content in different parts, as we see, because to leave time to dyslexic students to read, because as we saw in the video, YouTube video before. Dyslexic people needs more time to read. And after we can ask for the concept map. It's a multimedia concept map. It requires time because the algorithm is very strong, because we have to build the graph to ask ChatGPT, to ask YouTube, to ask for image, and so on. But this is a prototype. When it will be production, will be quicker. Okay, we have the concept map, and we have on each we have the image. We click here, and we see a video about Mozart. We can double click here, and in this case the concept map will be more depth. We add another layer, so the student, because dyslexic students they learn better with by concept maps. So the concept maps is a must when we are building this chatbot. Okay. And after, the other system is AI for LA, is a system that is published online, but is as last minute architecture, because it has also vector database, RAG architecture, fine tuning, and so on, function calling, and this very complex architecture, just to have all in time, in the sense of the students here can have summaries. The system is able to elaborate chunks of information, and to create other information, to add information, and so on. This is the interface. It's in Italian language, but export conversation, text to speech. This is text to save the conversation, and this is to have a small concept map and a larger concept map. Compact, understanding, speech to test, and with open dyslexic font like tutor chat. And this is the concept map we can create. The system is not multimedia concept map, but the system has shows other features that are not in tutor chat. We are working about this as a research project, so our work in progress. We are working in adding features, and we should like to experiment the system. Tutor chat now was experimented in Lebanese University with 130 students, and now is submitted to a journal. This is a load context. A student can add the context, can have summaries by the context, from YouTube videos, context generation from library loaded. As we know, we can have a library of contents, and the students can index what content she needs. This is the app. If you wanted to try this, we now just a moment just to have this because it's not open to all people. You have, if you are interested to try, you can write to me to have the password and username. While tutor chat is open, you can use as you want. And this is the system. As we told, we can write something. Okay. And we could have here a concept map. Okay, so we can important features that the students can delete or add notes to this concept map. So it can it could be a co-author of the concept map. And this is a very important feature to help students, not passive students, but active students, so they could be more engaged in this way. Okay, we come back to the presentation. Some features are under construction. The work is work in process. Was presented in ITS conference on last June, and so some remark. Generative AI is revolutionizing the way we teach and learn. Right now, the education field is going through a moment of a confusion transition, somewhat undetermined by the advent of generative AI. Teachers like me and you, I think, should think about this, what is changing, because students use ChatGPT. So they use in university or high school or middle school. Is right or not? It's a very strong, very hard question. Students with dyslexia, when attending a MOOC, are alone and they should be supported in any case. Intelligent chatbot could be a winning tool as long as it is personalized and expresses appropriate communication, because dyslexic people are not all equal to each other. So having a personalized tool is a very, very important features. In tutor chat, some features are personalized, some others no. We are working on. In the other system, we are working strongly on the personalization. So the chatbot should be created by collaboration with experts from both medical, psychological, and AI fields. We were supported by a group of psychologists and cognitive experts. Some of the problems: privacy. Students should declare to be dyslexic in order to activate the appropriate chatbot. Is not so good. Adaptation is a key factor. Dyslexia presents different levels. How to adapt the chatbot? Communication. ChatGPT engine should be fine-tuned by library of communication intents, as I told in the IASLE dyslexia system. Validation step is very important. It's always possible to validate the system, seeing a significant number of learners, and so on. So I wonder to what extent can the chatbot replace a real tutor? Because when students are in a MOOC, they need the real tutor, but the chatbot in some cases could substitute the real tutor. So conclusion: dyslexia represents the most prevalent learning disorder in the world, and intelligent chatbots are the systems that are most being developed as an aid to dyslexic students. From 2024, the use of generative AI for students with dyslexia is growing, and intelligent chatbots, mainly based on ChatGPT, are in the test step. They need a strong field evaluation, because we didn't find, because they are very, very new. So a stronger field evaluation is not reported in the literature. So thank you. I finished my presentation. I hope it was useful for your knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the great talk, and it is really interesting and resourceful.
Thank you.